welcome to the Healing Hearth. My name is Liz. I'm an intuitive tarot reader and Reiki practitioner, and I am back to YouTube, back on that grind of New Year's resolutions, and mine was to be consistent. So here I am. I am feeling re-inspired and reinvigorated to use this channel for collective readings. My intention for today is to do a collective general reading for the full moon today. January 6th is when I will be posting it. So keep in mind, this is a collective reading, right? So nothing applies to everybody, and that's totally cool. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't be mean, be respectful. This is a safe space for all to connect to inner guidance, to see what themes might be illuminated by this beautiful, luscious, cold, chilly full moon. So with that, let's get started with a little opening prayer and bless and prepare the space, shall we? Take a deep breath in, and we let it go. We release any resentment or anger, anything that no longer serves that we might be carrying away around for the day. We ask that this be melted away as we connect to the earth, Mother Earth, Gaia. We return that which no longer serves us, anything we carry of burden, of shame, of guilt, any lack or limitation and scarcity mindset. We ask to release this, and we ask that it be swept up, sealed, healed, and lifted into the light, loved into dissolution, never to return to this reality. We ask that this space and this reading be filled with the highest and best vibrational message made available at this time for all those involved or something better. Take a deep breath in, and we release it to find our power, our presence, our awareness in the present moment. I connect to my soul star and allow myself to call forth the highest and best version of myself, as well as the highest selves of those who may be watching this video in whatever timing everyone finds it. We ask that only the best vibrational messages of love, encouragement, empowerment, and wholeness come through. The divine what is may be seen at this time. Spirit, please allow me to read on behalf of the collective for the highest and brightest good for all or something better. Thank you, Spirit. Ashe. Oh, we call in all the protective deities, all the love and light energy that might be helping bubbling over these exciting messages of the new year that are to be found. Ashe, thank you. I did see a lot of bubbles. I saw a lot of sparkles. We might be feeling some of that post-holiday fatigue and looking for a little glimmer of magic, a little glimmer of hope for this new year. So, my first question to Spirit, to the Divine, is what is the collective theme here? What might be coming up over the next lunar cycle that's particularly being brought to our attention right now? We have the Knave of Cups, right? So this is the Page of Cups. This is being open to understanding your more emotional climates, learning to approach yourself and your own emotional responses with curiosity instead of criticism. There might be some of this like flush out detox energy going on, right? So we're trying to be more open to see like, well, what is this and why is this coming up, instead of like, well, this is not what I planned. Really healing that need to know mindset. This is also an invitation to let ourselves dream, to let ourselves imagine. Sometimes we get so caught up in the this is what it is that we kind of lose inspiration and hope for something better to find us, right? So in allowing ourselves the conditions to dream, to fantasize, instead of like calling ourselves immature or maybe idealistic, see what the root of those dreams are. You know, yeah, maybe you want to do travel that's outside of your foreseen budget, but what's the root of that? The root of that is trying to find something different, wanting to be stimulated intellectually, emotionally, in a different way that kind of shakes the mold of what you've been doing in the past, right? Perhaps you want to travel because you just feel uninspired and you're looking for other people, governments, I don't know, models, maybe more hierarchical. We're tired of looking at the family line. Maybe we literally want to try with a different family to see how other people interact, because is our normal really normal? God, that's such a triggering question. So why are we being asked to reassess how we approach our sense of whimsy? I love that as the theme. It's the strength. So why is this being brought up? The Strength card comes out. The Strength card is of a woman, right, representing the divine feminine, taming the beast, the lion, right? Like, what sane fucking person does that with a lion's mouth? Am I right? This is about approaching life's challenges with softness. You don't have to force to make something work. If you have to force it, it's probably not the best option. And it's so funny, right? How, like, we can get so into that, like, my way or the highway, and this is the only way this can look, and you feel like you're open to the opportunity, but you're only open to the opportunity in your limited lens here. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm open to this blessing of taking off my business through da-da-da-da-da. But with those expectations of how you're going to facilitate that, and that's the only way to do so, you close yourself off from all these other opportunities along the spectrum, right? So why is our curiosity being brought in? Because our curiosity is what makes us stronger. When we're not afraid of failure, when we're not afraid of being snubbed or wrong or rejected or abandoned, we find that we learn a lot more because we're open to a lot more. We're not forcing things that don't fit in their place. You know what I'm saying? So what's being asked to, excuse me, be surrendered at this time? Maybe some throat chakra, maybe this is self-expression. We have the Three of Pentacles here in reverse. So this is giving me social situations. Some of us might be outgrowing certain people that we weren't expecting to outgrow. And you know what's interesting is I read this very interesting section about how commitment is an illusion, right? A lot of our fears are expressed through fear of commitment, and that comes in forms of overcommitment or like cut your losses and undercommitment. One is a little bit more reactive of like, oh, this is not immediately what I want, I'm gonna cut my losses and leave. And then the other is like, no, I have to stay because, you know, like this has to be permanent. But either way, you know, the ultimate truth in the middle, nothing is forever. Certain things teach us certain lessons at certain times, and once we have learned those lessons, we are released from that cycle to move on to bigger, to better, to different, to shake it up. And we might be afraid, right, of the new, of the unknown. But that doesn't mean that it's like, why would you want to stay in place? That's not living. That's not an active place of living. The Three of Pentacles in reverse here is also giving me, like, when you have an emotional response to how someone treats you or someone communicates with you or someone empathizes and relates with you, maybe that's not your person. Maybe that social contract has run its course, and that can be scary, right? Because, you know, especially in terms of like spouses, people we've married to, legally connected to, it feels like a really high gamble. But if you've learned everything you need from that person and they're just kind of dragging you into a future that's not your truth, that's not aligned with who you are and who you want to be and present, it's a tough pill to swallow. But like, gosh, what cost is your freedom? What cost is your happiness? What cost is your freedom of mind? And these are all triggering questions. You could be totally pissed off at me. I'm just the messenger, folks. So from this, let's move on. What does this surrendering of people in our lives ultimately leave room for us to find, Spirit? We got the Hanged Man. This is a lot less doing and a lot more watching, a lot more seeing the truth of what it is. When we release those people, we realize that a lot of our obstacles were really just us not feeling enough support. It was really just like seeing things from a different perspective of like, oh, I'm not reactive or volatile or crazy because your growth, your emotional processes triggered somebody else. And so they project it on you like it's your fault. And you're like, how fucking dare I? And then once you're removed from the situation, it's like the whole picture is spun on its head. Like, wow, I've really been passive. I've really been sacrificing my peace. I really could have afforded more joy if I said yes to my opportunities instead of checking, instead of asking for permission, finding forgiveness for myself. Ooh. Instead of asking for permission, asking for forgiveness, but not of someone else, but from yourself. For not rooting for yourself. For not following through on your own gut feelings. And it's okay. A lot of forgiveness flooding in as an opportunity, and all you have to do is receive and be open to it. Be open to rewriting the script of victim mindset into an empowered driver of your life. You see what I'm saying? All right. So what energies around us in the collective are really supporting us in doing so in this ultimate moving forward energy? The Seven of Pentacles. 7 is a major completion cycle, and actually 2023 in numerology is the year of 7. 7 long train, keep with me. 7 is also the number associated with the Chariot, of forward movement. But when we have the 7 of Pentacles, this is a little bit slower. This is the card of asking for patience, in that we have essentially been stop-go traffic of like, I want to do this, halted, I want to do this, halted, obstacle, challenge, rejection, veiled protection in the form of rejection. You know, we've been very stop-go, and because of that's how the world's been going since, let's be honest, March 2020, it's actually caused us to grow a big skill within ourselves and for each other of patience for our own growth and patience for other people's growth. Being able to approach the world with more empathy and compassion, of seeing where other people are going through, because we've gone through similar emotional purges, emotional releases. So we have the game of time on our side. It is our time, but also like, you now understand when it's a green light, things just clear away, and you're going to get what you ask for. Maybe not in the form you want, but I digress. But basically, we are being asked to really harness our need for patience amongst ourselves and within the collective. And the Strength card is actually a very patient card if you think about it, when we talk about why this is coming up, because we now have this softness, have this receptive divine feminine quality that we've been steeping in for a few years now, where we're like, no, it's okay, not everything's a yes, and I can just sit back and wait, because I know I can. And I know I've lived it before. I've never been let down by my own patience. Well, I have, but you know what? Now it's different, because I have grown and I have learned my lessons. I have released myself from the toxic cycles of being productive and things need to happen on my own way, blah, 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 shit like that. No more. Now patience and our skill and our training over the last several years, and particularly over the last several months, have been training us to know we're capable of waiting for the right thing, of waiting for the respect we are due, of waiting for that Goldilocks, this is just right fit. Because if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Anyway, moving on. Personal challenges that might be brought to light through the collective, anything we might be missing. Okay, so I saw it already. We have the Four of Swords and we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is all about scarcity mindset, that you can't get what you want. Like, you know the law of attraction. You know that positive affirmations, when you are positive in your inner world, your outer world just sort of meets you, and you know this, but like, this is going to challenge that again, right? It's going to be like, oh, you think you're going to get what you want? All right, hold out for it. Practice that patience. And you know the abundance is going to find you in one way or another, whether you expect it in this form or another. And it's all about letting your mind rest, not letting your mind run you with anxious thoughts of like, why hasn't this happened yet? So this is a personal skill we might individually be growing wherever you're at in your journey in that regard, right? So how are we going to heal that? How are we going to heal the impatience, right? We have the Fool card in the reverse, ironically, right? Which is like, don't go with go unless it's your intuition. Now, important lesson. How do you tell when something is a message of the intuition and of the heart or versus of the mind? Now, let me teach you or relay to you how I kind of decipher between the two, because it can get messy, especially when there are no rules in this wild, wild west that is the world right now. And so when a thought comes up, when it's intuition, there's usually no judgment about it. It's when the fear and the emotion attached to it, or a thought becomes a rumination, becomes a nervous tick, that's not your intuition, man. That's your brain. And this is all about overcoming your own mental blockages. And that's when you're like more comfortable in the seeing. You'll kind of switch the energy to the head, and you'll run in your head and go through the automatic script about, you know, what might be a fit, like what's close, like how can I do more? But we're reworking that, right? Because you know your intuitive hits. And yeah, there might be some interlacing of wishful thinking, but it's having accountability and honesty with yourself. If you truly feel it, or if you just think it might, that's the decipherer here. A lot of times when we're in our heads, we might trick ourselves into thinking that's intuition. And what brings me back is some grounding breaths, a walk through the trees, maybe a glass of water, a sort of reprieve, a permission to drop it for 30 seconds, 30 minutes, a day, whatever I feel called to, depending on how emotionally charged the situation, the nervous tick might be. And usually when I have to do that, that's not my intuition, unfortunately. And then eventually when you're in a more grounded space, you can really take in the message, or you can find the confirmation you're looking for out in the world. It's the nervous tick of searching that kind of needs to be dropped. So you need to be like, why? Curious again, instead of critical about it, you see? So on the bottom here, as the underlying card of why is this all happening? Guys, it's a full moon. Moon card. Full moon times. Emotionally charged. They could be really emotional. They could be really mysterious. This can be leading you into something more beneficial that you might not see immediately. But, you know, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't be a great fit, wouldn't be a great solution just because you didn't think of it first. What kind of ego move is that? Ego's good. Ego's good. Ego and spirit just needs to be balanced. You know what I mean? Don't run all on the ego. Don't run all on the spirit. We're all humans here. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever. The moon card is also about honoring your phases. So honoring your energy. Also, it's okay to not know where you're going. Really, it is. And if you need to be quiet instead of deciding to speak on something you're not ready to speak on yet, that's okay. That's your right. Don't be pressured into performing before you are ready. Moon card, final message about the moon card is be particularly careful, not careful, but like pay attention to your dreams, right? Some dreams are messages. Some dreams are that intuitive confirmation you're looking for. Dreams might be going bouncing all over the place, so maybe you want to start recording or practicing the art of lucid dreaming to help support you in your own journey of self-empowerment through doing the astral travel route. If you have any questions on dream magic or lucid dreaming, you can feel free to leave a comment below. I'd be happy to answer as best I can. But with that, that is the full moon reading I have. If anyone is interested, I offer intuitive tarot readings and Reiki sessions to my clients, both virtually and in person. Virtually, you can book through my website, healinghearth.net. I offer 30 and 60-minute sessions, and then in person, I offer my services through the Crescent Collective in Liverpool, New York. If you are interested in either of those, you can feel free to text me or email me. My contact information should be in the description box. If you have any questions, intuitive reading, or maybe want to know more about classes I offer through the Healing Hearth. And with that, it has been a pleasure to be all in your energy. I am really excited to be making more videos this year to market myself and to connect with you guys. You know, I know it's kind of tricky sometimes with online readers, so I'm just here to be authentic, to be myself, to relay the message as I get and share with you what I know. And cheers to a really, really wonderful and empowering and exciting and refreshing 2023.